All right, let's get started. She's loving on Connie now. Come here, Art. Come here. Say hi to everybody on. She's really been needy since I was gone last week. She wants a lot of attention. So come here. So everyone at home can see you. Here she is, the fat cat. Yes. Look how fat you are. You almost weigh as much as Ted. All right. Well, should we get started, everybody? Yeah. So please find a nice seat. Close your eyes. And give your breath some special attention. Just feel it move in and out. And perhaps slow it down just a bit. More breath causes heat. But today you want to just slow it down. With every in-breath, tell yourself, I'm going to draw in some positivity, some good things. With every exhale, perhaps get rid of some darkness that you need to let go of this morning. And picture in your mind's eye, since I spent the whole week outside last week, one of your favorite places in nature. Picture it on a nice, cool, but warm day, cool breeze day. Whenever I spend time in nature, it always does something wonderful for my soul. And please bring hands to heart center. May we all take the time to truly appreciate the beauty that's always around. We search for it. Please lower your hands, open your eyes. We're going to start this morning. Just stay seated like you are and interlace your hands and just bring them to the top of your head. And don't press down, but lengthen your spine and press up into your hands. Feel how your core engages, your rib cage maybe draws back as you try and press up into the hands. So remember this feeling. And now slide the hands down to the back of the head, kind of cupping your occipital lobe there, and press back into your hands and feel the back of your neck lengthen. That's how you can keep that length in your spine. Remember that as well. And then stretch your arms up bring your right hand to the middle, left hand to the elbow, little tricep stretch. And see if you can remember that lengthening and pressing back. So you feel really engaged all the way up and down the spine. And then switch. And stretch both arms up. Keep your left arm up. Bring your right hand to the side and arc over to the side. Feel both sits bones grounded. And then come on back up. Switch. Arc. She's taking turns with everybody, isn't she? Come on back up. And this time just dive forward. And just again think, okay, rib cage back. Pressing up to the top of the head, back through the occipital bone. Then when you fold forward, it feels more connected. Feel a nice stretch in your hips, hopefully. The bones stay back. And then come on back up and let's switch. So the switch shins. Oh wait, before you do that, I forgot. Come back to the first side. A little twist. Think of that length. Pressing back and twist. And then switch. And come on back to center. Now switch. And we'll do that again. You can either do Sukhasana, which means your feet are under your knees, or if you like this Tadasana, you just kind of, you're a little more open, you can do that. Bring your left arm up, right arm up to the side, and arc. Think, sits bones back, yeah. Rib cage back, long spine, and then it feels like a really nice stretch on that side. That bother your hip a little bit. Good, and switch. And come on back up and keep that length and connection and hold forward. I want you to think, sit the bones back, keep a little bit of a curve. You don't have to go so deep. We're pretty early in the practice, so don't tell yourself, push it. Just honor your physical parts. And then coming back up, she's licking your block again, weird. Twist to your right. Ardha, that's gross. And switch. She must be needing a mineral or something. I put her on a high protein food, trying to, help her to lose weight, and she doesn't like it very much. She won't eat as much, which is good, but okay. Now sit up nice and tall again. Feel that length in the back of your neck. So think lift, occipital point, and then just close your eyes and let your chin drop towards your chest, but keep that connection. And then slowly roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then roll back to the middle, so you're still tucking the chin down, and roll to the other side. And then back to the middle and over to the right side again. And one more time, back through center and to the left side. Just feeling lots of connection all up and down your spine. And coming back to the middle. And bring your head up and open your eyes. Feels good, right? Come to all fours, please. And just move through some cat-cows, but I want you to start by getting that length through the top of your head and through the occipital point, and then start with your tail and just kind of arc. So I don't lift my head real high. I think of my head as an extension of my spine. So when I curve it, it doesn't lift real high. And then go the opposite direction. So start with the tailbone, slowly roll up, keeping connection. Arc like a cat. And just do that a couple more times, being mindful. And one more time. And then pause. Bring your right knee kind of to the center of the mat and tuck your left knee behind it. And keeping your toes curled under and your feet pretty close, just sit back a little bit till your right knee lifts up. So it's kind of a Gomukhasana, child's pose, but your hips stay square. And then come back forward, and we're going to switch. So left knee in the middle, tuck the right knee. Feet come a little wider. Mine are about the width of the mat. I keep my toes curled under. And then when you sit back, just let the hips go back. The left knee will come up. Kind of stretches the IT band, the hips. Neck is fine. Kind of a modified child's pose. Good. And then unwind. Unwind to all fours. Bring your hands forward a little bit. Be mindful with your hands, claw the floor, see if you can get the arched hands. And then bring your shoulders over your wrists so you're in a woman's push-up position. And then lower down to the mat. Oh, squisher. Go ahead and lay. If you come down, she'll move. Good. Stretch your arms long. It really is kind of alternating. Think connection in the spine, but don't scoop the tailbone. Press the back of the occipital point back. Lift the head and shoulders. Lift the arms. Lift the feet. Shalabhasana. Think long, long spine. You'll feel it more. You lengthen. Feel it in your hamstrings. One more breath. And come on down. Bring your hands back by your chest. Take a breath. And with that really good connection, knees stay down. You're just going to do a push-up to that forward position. So think long spine. And then if you're with me, do 5 more of those. Again, long spine, really connected through the neck. And if you need to, you can sit back to all fours in between. Broaden your clavicles. Good. And then everybody come on up to all fours. Curl your toes under and sit back on your heels if possible. I know my feet get really weird when I bike. My toes fall asleep and stuff, so I need this today. Yeah. Well, when you're on a bike for that many hours, feels good at first, and then by the end of the day, I even did the 100-mile day. I didn't think I would, but I did. Good. Oh yeah, we did yoga. I had some people in our group this year that I didn't know, and they really like yoga. Come back forward. Stretch your feet long now. And sit back again. Stretch out the ankles. Keep the toes straight back. You can't go all the way back. It's okay. Think of that lengthening. Sit bones back, long occipital point back, and it feels better. And then just kind of press into your feet and lift up to your knees. Good. I think I'm going to have you can turn sideways on your mat if you want. You guys can face in if you want. Now, when you look at each other, you're going to be opposite leg. So extend your right leg out to the side. And just check, is your left hip above your left knee? And just feel that stretch. Think sits bones stay back, long spine, occipital, low back, and extend your left arm up. And then your right hand's on your thigh, just arc to the side, gate pose. But try to keep that long spine feeling. So you're not going to go as deep. Feel nice and long. Really good, you guys. So a couple more breaths. And then come on back up. And come in and switch. So just check to see that your kneecap and toes point the same direction. Feel all four parts of your foot grounded. Your foot and your knee are in the same plane. Your right hip's above your right knee. Nice long spine. And then go for it. The bones stay back. You're not sleeping. Just feeling a nice stretch and lengthen the side. Good. And come on back up. And then bring the knee in. Keep the toes curled under. Bring your hands kind of on your hips, but on the back side, kind of right on your butt shelf if you have one like I do. And then think, sits bones back, long spine, and that picture your hands on the top of your head, occipital bone back. So this is connection, right? I'm even feeling my knees kind of hugging towards each other so I can keep the sits bones back. Keep that long spine and then slowly lean back for camel pose. Just do this modified version so it's not too deep. Keep long, broadening the clavicles. Don't let your head fall back. Just think of your head as an extension of your spine today. Good, and then slowly come on back up. And we're going to repeat that sequence. So bring your right foot to the side. Left arm up. Just check yourself and arc. And this time think, maybe I'll scrunch up the side body a little more, but I can keep the length in the spine and keep the connection through the neck. I'll do that. Good, and then come on back up. This time, bring your left hand down, turn your right toes up, and stretch up And open your heart a little bit. Again, just check your neck. Don't just let it go back. Feel like it's an extension of your curved spine. Good. And then come forward to switch. It's easier that way. For me anyway. And then come on up. And take your time setting up. And arcing. Sometimes second time you do it, you notice things you didn't notice the first time. This time you can wrench up your left side body if you want, but you keep that long spine. So the spine is even curving in this position, right? But you're keeping it connected. Good, come on up. Bring the hand down, turn the toes up, and open up. I'm so proud of yourself for coming down here and already. Good, and then come on back down. Come forward, bring that knee in. And just where you are. Now, keeping your toes curled under, we're going to do camel pose one more time, but maybe you'll want to bring your hands to your heels eventually. So start with hands here. Connect your spine, get really long, and then think, okay, I'm going to keep the sit bones back. I'm going to keep that length in the spine, but I'm going to slowly lean back and then see maybe the heels will be accessible with your hands. And if you can keep the long neck, maybe you can let your head go back a little further. Don't let it go all the way. Good, and come on forward. How'd that feel? Okay. Yeah, come down to all fours facing the front and take a child's pose, just a regular child's pose. And monitor your breath one more time. Start to walk your fingers out a little bit further and come up on fingertips. And then plant your hands. When you come up, make sure your hands are in front of your shoulders a little bit. Curl your toes, make your way to a downward dog. And that long connected spine with the head really extending, and down dog. Feels super good. Keep the sit bones back. And make sure your feet are a good distance apart. Bend the knees slightly and extend the right leg up towards the sky. Now I want you to try something for me. You're going to inner spiral that leg and turn the whole leg so that the toes point towards your other leg. And your hip might have to lower a little bit. And then go the opposite direction. Lift the hip a little bit, turn the toes out. So it's like an outer spiral of that whole leg starting with the hip. Good, and then square up the hip. Bring the foot down. Come down to all fours. Take a child's pose. Get off your hands for a moment. So as we do the other side, I want you to remember your spine. and the lengthening, but the sits bone back as you play with that inner and outer spiral of the left leg. So come on up to down dog and make sure it's a really connected down dog. Extend the left leg when you're ready and keep the legs straight. Keep it all the way straight. And then start with the hip and inner spiral it so the toes eventually face the right leg. It feels weird. Keep that long spine. You'll feel kind of an achiness in the right leg. Good, and then go the opposite direction. Start with the hip, turn the leg out. Your hip will lift a little bit. Keep that long connected spine. Maybe the leg will lift to the outer spiral. And then square it up and bring it down. And then walk your feet up towards your hands. Come to a forward fold. It's always good to go the opposite direction. So we're lengthening the spine in every pose, and then when you curve it, it feels good. But in this position, I want you to keep a baby bend and try to keep the hip creases back, even though you're kind of arcing your back. It still feels connected. She's clicking your block again, sorry. Good, and then bend your knees, bring your hands on your knees. Come all the way up to standing. Oh. Stretch your arms up. Feel that length. If you need to, you can think, extend. When you extend through the top of the head, notice how your feet press down into the ground more. Extend you taller. Good. And then slowly fold forward. You can grab your blocks if you want. Bring them by your feet. I'm going to use mine. And then step your left foot back to a deep lunge. And then just experience that position for a moment. Think right hip crease stays back. Lift the left heel super high. And you can even bring your blocks to the higher height too. Press into all four corners of your right foot and straighten your right leg for pyramid pose. And then notice, okay, did I start to round my back here? Can you get the sits bones back and even? Your hips face forward, your spine lengthens. You push back with the occipital point and then maybe fold a little deeper over the front leg. Good. Extend back up, bend the front knee, and just set the blocks to the sides for a moment and step back to down dog. And then bring your left knee down. Make sure your left hand is in front of your shoulder. So you might even have to move it up. Swivel the left foot out to the side and ground your right foot down. And come on up to a side plank position. Make sure, bring your left hand forward a little bit, Carrie. No, forward towards me. There you go. Yeah, because I want you to have a little room there. Now, ask yourself, do I have sits bones back? Can I lengthen my spine? Press back through my occipital point. And then extend the right arm. And keep that. Can I keep that and lift the right leg up? You keep extending your spine, Artie. Sorry. Press back to your occipital point. One more breath. And come on down. Transition back to downward facing dog. Spread the weight in your hands. Extend the left leg and step it through to deep lunge. You can use the blocks again. Right there. So find deep lunge. Again, just think, if I lengthen up through the top of my head, it changes everything. It feels like the legs are really engaged more. I hope you feel that. You can turn the blocks up to the higher height if you want. Lift the right heel super high, straighten the left leg. Still feel that length. And maybe fold deeper, you decide. Lengthening in the spine. You can always extend your right heel towards the floor more if you have enough flexibility there. But if you start with that lifted heel, the arch lifts, it feels more connected. Good, bend back into the front knee. Set the blocks off so you can step back, down dog. Lower the right knee. Make sure the right hand's in front of the right shoulder. Swivel the right foot, ground the left foot down. Come to that side plank position. And then just play, think, okay, the sits bones stay back and apart. I'm really extending through the top of my head, keeping my neck engaged. And then maybe extend the arm and lift the leg and just see what happens. Lengthen through the top of your head even more. If you need to, bring the hand forward a little bit because it's really intense on the hip actually, this angle. Couple more breaths. And then lower the foot. Make your way back, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg and step it through deep lunge. You can use the blocks. And please step forward, Chandrasana. Artie, get out of her way. Inhale, pranam. Just think of that length with the sits bones back. Exhale, fold. Do that again. Think length all the way through the top of the head, occipital lobe, extending back, pushing back. Notice your legs and fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing. Extend your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause there. Remembering that spot in nature that you love. It's your happy place. Good, open your eyes and inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Step the right foot back first to deep lunge. Ground the back knee down, or lower the back knee, I should say. And then lengthen up to Anjaneyasana, thinking long spine first, and then maybe arc back a little bit if you want more stretch. Hips stay square. Good, touch down. I want you to all use your blocks this time. Lift the back knee, ground the back foot down, bring your right hand to your hip. And then just take a moment with your legs and your feet, and then think, sit bones stay back. I'm gonna open up Parshvakonasana, but keep that nice long spine. Press back through the occipital lobe, bring the right arm up and over Parshvakonasana. Couple breaths, really nice. Keep your knee bent. Carrie, there you go, that's better. And touch down, turn the back heel up, step forward, Uttanasana, and switch. Left foot back, lower the back knee, hug to the midline, lengthen up, Anjane Asana. Long spine, and then arc it. Good, touch down, lift the back knee, ground the back foot down, left hand to the hip, Parshvakonasana. Sit bones stay back, really feel your legs and feet. Sit bones stay back, long spine, occipital lobe back, arm up and over. Or not. Your shoulder doesn't feel like it's in the right spot, don't do it. One more breath. Please touch down, turn the back heel up, move the blocks to the side, set back, down dog. Inhale, plank. Run the clavicles. Keep that occipital point drawing back, long spine as you lower down. See how slow you can go. Stretch the feet long. Lift to cobra. Exhale, lower. We'll see if you can do a reverse push-up, curl the toes. Think of that really long connected spine, broadening the shoulders, push up, plank, downward facing dog. Step your feet to your hands, forward fold. Inhale, pranam, just thinking, whoa, I'm gonna use all those muscles. Pranam, exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep and rise. Hands to heart center. Good, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Pranam with your breath. And fold. Step the left foot back, deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Keep the block handy there and come up to warrior two. Again, I think you engage the side body long more if you think long spine through the top of the head, occipital point back. Good. Slowly lean forward, bring your left hand to your hip, find the block. For that Parshvakonasana position, you should already be in a good position. And then listen carefully, we're going to ardha chandrasana. So slide the back foot forward, move the block out 12 to 18 inches. And then remembering what you did on the side, you did this same position before, but your knee was down instead of your foot. Think, I'm going to lift up that back foot, keep the spine nice and long. Lengthen through the top of the head, press back through the occipital point, maybe extend the arm. Just see if the weight's right in the middle of your right foot. You'll know if you can get a little bit lighter with your right hand. Good, bend the front knee, slide the block back as you touch that back foot down, and then slide it out. So it's clear down and you're in Parsvakonasana again. Turn the heel up, touch down. Step forward, please. I didn't hear any crashes. I had my back to you. So it must have gone well. I just want you to remember the long spine and occipital point back, and it really helps you stay strong through the legs. Step the right foot back. So let's go for the other side. Ground the back foot down. Check your alignment. Come up, warrior two. You can even bring your hands on the top of your head and press up if you want. And then occipital point, press back. Right hand to the hip, left hand to the block. Now it's easy to lose that as you transition, but see if you can just notice if you do, slide the foot forward, slide the block out, and then go for it. Ardha, chandrasana. Pretend like if somebody's hand is under the ankle of your right foot and you're pressing down to lengthen out through the top of your head. Press down, press down. Good. And then transitioning, come back. If you can come back, Ardha Chandrasana. If you can't, it's okay. Parsvakonasana. And then move the block, step back, down dog. You can either take child's pose or do vinyasa with me. Inhale to plank. Think of the long spine. Lower. Cobra. Lower. If you're doing reverse plank, you can. Down dog. Everyone down dog. Step your feet to your hands, forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, now I'm going to give you an option for this next one. So you can either repeat what we did, because I want you to try Ardha Chandrasana again. There's a different way you can do it where you use the wall to put your back foot on, and then you can play with lengthening more. Kind of hard to find the right position for your foot. So if you want to try that, and then you can think lengthen and open up, feels really safe. Or you want to try something really funky. I'll see if I can demo. So you do Ardha Chandrasana. And you get that really long spine. And then you bend the knee. And see if you can find the foot. So you have that long spine, and then you can arc back. It's called Ardha Chandrasana Tapasana. Okay. It does feel really good. It's a challenge. But if you think long spine first and then bend back, it feels really therapeutic. You have to keep the hip creases back. Okay, so let's just flow with it. If you want to do it by the wall, don't flow. Just do that. Nobody will know what you're doing at home. I'm going to do it with the blocks because I like a little bit more height. So let's start with your right foot back, deep lunge. Ground the back foot down, right hand to the hip. Slide the foot forward, block forward. Think long spine as you lift up. And just make sure you have the block in a place that feels like you can really lengthen through the top of your head and through the occipital point. Now, if you're going for chandrasana, bend the right knee, see if the foot's accessible. You kind of kick the foot into your hand as you open up and arc back. Whoa, good job, you guys. You had it. So it feels like it's a back bend. Good, and then come on out. You can just come into a forward fold. One side might be better than the other too. So just take a moment and then step the left foot back, ground it down, left hand to the hip, so your Parsvakonasana position. Slide the foot up, slide the block out, lift up, ardha, chandrasana. Get that long spine feeling, really connected. For some reason, if you get the long back of neck with the occipital lobe pointing back, it's connected to your back somehow. It makes you stronger. Bend the knee, find the foot, just play with it. Ardha, chandrasana, chapasana. And when you're ready to come out, just come to a forward fold and actually come down to a deep squat. I'm sweating. Oh, all we need is more sweating today. And then come to a seated position. And I'm not gonna use my blanket because she's all perched on it. But I want you guys to use your blanket if you would. Stretch your legs out. Bend your right knee. Bring the ankle across the thigh. And just pause there. Press the heel down. And think, sits bones stay back, but I'm really going to lengthen up through the top of my head and push back through my occipital point. And then it feels like, oh, if I broaden the knee a little bit more towards the floor, it feels like a really nice stretch. You can support yourself. You feel that? When you get the long spine, how much better it feels? Yeah. Okay, now let's go just a little deeper. So you're going to pick up the foot and the knee and just stack. I like to keep the foot flexed and do the same thing. Think hips stay square. I'm going to lengthen up, use the occipital, lobe back, sits bones stay back, and then maybe I'll fold forward so this half Gomu Mukasana. I like to keep hugging this heel in. This doesn't feel good on your knee. Hug in and keep your foot super active, and should feel it in your hip and your hamstring, your hamstring as well. And come on up and we'll switch sides. Does that feel okay in your hip? Good. Okay, let's try the other side. Now make sure you're high enough. Maybe you should get a little bit higher even, just to protect it. Ankle over thigh. Keep that length and connection. And then just see, and your foot's really active. I always pretend like there's a wall here, so, because sometimes my big toe mound gets lazy. If I press into the wall with all four corners of the foot, that helps. But I also, just lengthening my spine helps. And then open, try not to lean. Good. And then pick it up, bring it across, keep it really active, and just go where it feels like a nice stretch. You don't have to lean forward. Just think long spine. I always feel like my side where the knees bent is moving forward. Try and move it back and lengthen. It doesn't actually move back, but it's just the way your body, the configuration it's in, it wants to do that. And then fold. And then come on back up, unwind, and go ahead and transition to your back. And then turn the lights down. And with your knees bent, feet flat, just think to yourself, okay, I have the curve in my low back. Can I lengthen up a little bit more? I feel my low ribs kind of engaging. Hands by your hips. Press into your feet and lift to Setu Bandha. Maybe you have to lengthen the back of your neck even more. Press the occipital point down a little bit as I put the load down. Hi, Artie. To lengthen. I want you to feel that. And then lower down. Bring your feet a little wider, arms to cactus. And just do some windshield wipers, just kind of fast or as slow as you want. Excuse me. And when you're evened out, bring the soles of the feet together, let your knees open, and perhaps bring your hands on your belly, thighs, for Supta Baddha Konasana. A butterfly pose. Bringing the knees together, hug them into your chest. And just kind of roll side to side. I was thinking of lengthening your spine as you roll. You'll feel the low back kind of pressing down. And then just grabbing your kneecaps, slowly push the knees away from you till your arms are full length. Let your feet dangle. And just a little pressure down on your knees through your femur bones into the socket. You'll feel the curve come back in your low back. Keep thinking long spine, even with that. And then roll side to side again. You'll kind of massage the buttocks a little bit. That feels good. And then go ahead and transition for Shavasana. You're sure get yourself in a good position so that you can truly relax. I always have to draw my shoulder blades underneath, but keep my sides nice and long. Feel that curve in your low back. And then once you feel like, oh yeah, this is a good position. If it's not, roll to your side or find a spot that feels good. You scan your body real quick and see where you're holding tension. Let it go with the exhale. And once you feel totally relaxed in every way, even with your breath, immerse yourself into nature. That's any spot you feel really at home and comfortable and feels like your soul is happy in that spot. Life is always brewing more of itself. The universe is infinitely creative and never stops arranging opportunities to love. No matter what happens, even a moment before, the present is always a new beginning. God's mind rearranges time and space according to our willingness to love. Nothing in the world can stop the creative power of the universe. Recognizing that you're breathing again. You never stopped, but notice it now. Help to deepen your breath a bit by just opening your lungs to allow a deeper inhalation and a fuller exhalation. And then start to move fingers, toes. Transition by drawing your knees in, rolling to the right. Pushing on up to seated. As you sit, just notice your nice long spine. When you sit this way, when you practice this way, make more room to breathe deeply. Just bring hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing today. Hope you enjoyed it. Namaste. Have a fabulous day. Stay cool. Yes. Nice to be back. I missed you guys last week, but it was fun.